Oh, another thing coming up. Just note the date here that December 12th, that we have Christmas for Kids. So those of you with young children or know people with young children, keep that date in mind. And I know a lot of this made your bulletin. Keep your eyes on the bulletin, that these dates will continue to be posted in there, but I'll leave it up for a second so you guys can kind of take all of that in, different things coming up in the near future. And at any point, if there's any questions about any of this, feel free to jump in, ask questions, comments, concerns, suggestions, anything like that during the meeting, after the meeting. Pastor. I do. I don't know if everyone else is because you explained it to me, so I'll let you do it for the benefit of everyone else. Explain it to the crowd. Okay, so now you know what it is. Details to come, menu to come. Adult discipleship, 19-minute Bible study are still going on after the sermon, after the service every Sunday, and that's going well. The ladies are still meeting and averaging about 10 souls at those meetings and are still working through boundaries. The gentlemen are meeting every third Wednesday of the month. December 16th, we have a location set yet. Okay, location to come. Oh, yes.
Just a couple things to mention about the Sunday school kids. The Christmas program, you probably saw it on another slide already, but I'll mention it again. Sunday, December 3rd is the kids' Christmas program. They've been working on songs and their parts in the back already, but we're going to have 2 Saturday practices. So if you can remember, that's where we really, I guess, fine-tune everything and where they really get down what they're doing on those Saturdays. So it's important to have the kids here. The 5th and the 12th. The 12th, is that going to conflict with? Okay. Cool. I know we did it last year. We had Christmas for Kids and the Saturday practice same day, and it worked. But I just wanted to ask. That's it for the Sunday school kids. Youth, we kind of got a slow start this year, and that's pretty much my scheduling problems. But we just got together last Sunday for the first time and went bowling, and everybody, all the youth that we have attended, nobody had friends. It was pretty much all just us, I think. 13 kids. That was fun. Picture's kind of dark. Christmas party. We're working on December 20th, we think is going to be the day. That looks like possibly the only day we may have. So details to come, but there will be a Christmas party for the youth. We think the 20th. That's it.
All right. I have a short list of some things that we were trying to get accomplished. I don't know if anybody noticed. Seems to be one side of the sign missing. Well, there was a good reason for that. I had the opportunity to replace the second side of the monument sign, so that should be completed within the next day or two. Had a few things happen in the last few weeks. A leaky drinking fountain, which made a mess on our fellowship carpet, but maybe it was good timing anyway because we needed to clean the carpets in the back, and I think that turned out very well considering there was a previous stain that we had from a plumbing fixture that was leaking. Church grounds, again, I'm just trying to organize winterizing. That means taking all the hoses apart, protecting any of our pipes from the outside. And there'll be things supporting any of the activities that we have coming up for the month of December as well, including getting the tree set up and just trying to assist anything that we have going on. The biggest thing at the bottom would be the HVAC. So to give the congregation an update on that, the first of the units will probably be done in about a week's time. We're going to start in the fellowship area first and work our way back out to the sanctuary. I do have a little bit of a constriction between some of the structural members up in the attic, so I'm working through an alternative means to get it up there and to fit. But that project is going to be underway fairly soon. It'll take a number of weeks to do this. Again, there's not any great hurry to get that accomplished, so we want to take our time and do it right.
All right, for the elder reports, you can see the church average attendances there. And as I said, these may not reflect all the people, members, non-members that are finding us on the web or using our services there as well. But you can kind of see the numbers and our overall communicant baptized numbers. And we have now the proposed, not set in stone yet, I believe we'll be coming back to vote on this. So if you see someone up there, or don't see someone up there that you would like to see up there, by all means talk to us. But we will be coming back and voting on this in 2 weeks. So mark your calendars for that. Pastor. The big brother is watching. All right, so read your emails. Next, financials.
So first, I always like to have the October results, or the results of the month before the meeting that we're having. We had a little bit under this month, although we've been generally doing pretty well for the year. So expenses were under budget, income was a little lower. So this was one of our first losses for the year, but it was less than a projected loss. Year to date, we're doing much better than we had worried about previously. Total income so far is about $93,000. That's just about exactly the same as what the expenses are, because we tend to be relatively balanced there. So we're at a loss so far year to date of about $672, but that's better than what was budgeted. So I think we should be thankful for that, and thank all the members for supporting the church. For the budget coming up, I looked at it and we had talked to the council that pretty much keeping it flat with the actuals for 2015. If you really step back and look at it, it looks like this upcoming year probably going to be a lot like the last year. So that's how it's budgeted, both from the income and the expenses standpoint. And that's, of course, assuming November and December income is okay. We'll know soon. November's looking all right. Let's see. Expenses are down, though, a little bit in the budget. A couple reasons. One is the mortgage reduction on the refinancing we did. If you remember that, cuts it about $250 a month or so. And the other, hats off to Roland, the Thrivent offsets he's discovered how to use, which help us in some of our outreach activities. So I think, Pastor, we've used this about 4 times just our fourth one, which is coming up on about $1,000 that we can use for outreach, which definitely helps the budget in that regard. So thank you, Roland. What'd you say? Oh, well, it's a good thing. So it's a good thing. And so anyway, the result is a slight loss for the budget, but about break even. And of course, the key assumption on that is that the income continues at about the same pace. We can control expenses to some extent, but not as much as you might think, because most of our expenses are relatively fixed. We don't have that very many variable expenses that are in our discretion. So what I have right now in the budget, and I've got a detailed version of this if anybody would like, the total income of about 112,000. Expenses are running a little bit more of that, and I'm projecting a little bit of a loss for the year. Yes, roll. I don't know the answer to that. What I budgeted was the utilities the same as last year. Ed, do you know if they'll be more efficient in some way? Okay. Well, that'll be a positive budget delta then, to the extent we can realize that. I think as much as anything, it varies on the weather. We had a pretty cold last year, and so the heating bill was up. And so if we have a moderate winter, that probably does as much for the utilities budget as anything. Any other questions about this? And I guess we need to vote to approve this eventually, right? Is that the case? In 2 weeks, yes. Okay. So let me know if anyone has any questions, but it's pretty much a lot like this year. Yes. Yes, we do. We're typically finishing the month at somewhere around $5,000, and that's not counting the building fund, which is about $6,500 that we have yet to tap, which is I view as sort of a little bit of an emergency rainy day fund. We hope not to use it, although we may use it for some actual building things. And then the other thing is we actually have a $10,000 credit line that we pay down to zero every month. So, if we ran into some trouble, we could tap that credit line if we needed to, but I'd really not want to do that. Any other questions about that? Okay, thank you.
All right, so that is it, Pastor. Another question or comment? All right, well, thank you so much for sticking around for this. And back in 2 weeks, we'll be here voting on members for the council and the budget itself. So if between now and then you have any questions, please do see us, call us, email us, stop us, any way you can to get a hold of us. Thank you so much.